On a chilly October evening in Boston, St. Augustine's Hospital, a symbol of safety and trust, plunged into a terrifying darkness. At 11:47 p.m., a janitor opened a basement storage closet and discovered the body of patient Clara Henshaw, hidden under old blankets. A haunting question echoed through the city. How could a place meant to heal become a crime scene? What turned a reputable hospital into the setting for a brutal murder, and who was the individual who snatched a life within the very walls where it was meant to be restored? This case revolves around Clara Henshaw. 52, a woman beloved by everyone in Boston's Jamaica Plain neighborhood. With a warm smile and a habit of baking cookies for community events, she was the epitome of dedication and kindness. Working at a local bank for over 20 years, Clara lived for her two children, Emma, 24, and Jack, 19. Her husband had passed away a decade prior, leaving her to raise her family alone. Yet Clara remained consistently optimistic. She was like sunshine, a colleague recalled. 3 days before the incident, Clara was admitted to St. Augustine's for heart surgery. The valve repair procedure was expected to be straightforward, but she was anxious. "I just want to go home soon," she told Emma in a call before the operation. The hospital, nestled in the affluent Back Bay area, was highly reputable. Nurses praised Clara as easygoing, and doctors assured her of a swift recovery. No one could have imagined that such an ordinary life devoid of strife would end so cruelly and mysteriously, right in the place where she sought healing. Within the seemingly safe confines of St. Augustine's Hospital, a dark secret harbored in the mind of one individual, Marcus Tate, a 27-year-old black man working as a night shift janitor. Marcus was quiet and reserved, yet always diligent in his work. A nurse observed, "He seemed distant, but never did anything wrong." However, some colleagues noticed Marcus often lingered in the basement storage closet longer than necessary. "He's probably just taking a break," they told themselves, dismissing any deeper thoughts. Marcus had no known prior criminal record or apparent psychological issues mentioned in the records. Yet his furtiveness and unusual behavior later suggested a hidden side. Did Marcus's past shape his path toward this crime, or was it a moment of panic that drove an otherwise ordinary person to an unexpected act of brutality? On the night of November 19, 2024, at 8:15 p.m., St. Augustine's Hospital was bathed in the pale fluorescent glow of its lights. Clara Henshaw lay in room 304 in the recovery ward. Nurse Karen Walsh left the room at 8:30 p.m., which would be the last time Clara was seen alive. At 9:12 p.m., security cameras captured Marcus Tate pushing a cleaning cart down the third-floor hallway. He paused near room 304, looked around, and then continued. But at 9:47 p.m., a faint sound emanated from Clara's room, like metal hitting the floor. A passing nurse thought it was a tray being knocked over and didn't investigate further. By 10:03 p.m., Clara was no longer in her bed. The heart monitor continued to run, but its sensors lay detached on the bed. A night shift nurse, Lisa Nguyen, noticed the empty bed at 10:15 p.m. She called colleagues and checked the restroom and hallway, but Clara was nowhere to be found. "Maybe she went for a walk," Lisa said, though an uneasy feeling lingered. She reported it to the night supervisor, but the hospital didn't immediately raise an alarm. "She just had surgery. She couldn't have gone far," the supervisor reassured. At 11:20 p.m., Marcus Tate appeared on a basement camera pushing his cleaning cart into the storage closet. The door closed behind him. No one saw him carrying anything unusual, but the dim light obscured a detail: the cart was heavier than usual. Inside, Clara's body, wrapped in hospital blankets, lay huddled. Dried blood stained her hair, and a head injury suggested a powerful blow. Her wedding ring, an inseparable item, had fallen off and rolled into a corner of the closet. At 11:47 p.m., janitor Juan Morales opened the closet to retrieve supplies and screamed in horror upon finding Clara's cold, outstretched hand. He ran out, alerted security, and the police were called at 11:52 p.m. When police arrived, the scene was frozen in time. Clara's body lay under the dim light, her eyes wide open, as if still searching for answers. A trail of dried blood on the closet floor led to a corner where the wedding ring gleamed. There was no obvious murder weapon, no clear fingerprints. Only the heavy silence of the hospital, as if it harbored a terrible secret. What drove Marcus to commit such a brutal act and then attempt to conceal the victim's body within the hospital premises? On November 20th, 2024, at 6:30 a.m., St. Augustine's Hospital remained shrouded in tension. Nurse Lisa Nguyen, who discovered Clara's empty bed, couldn't sleep. She recalled a small detail: a metal tray on the bedside table in Clara's room had been askew. Despite being dismissed by the night supervisor, Lisa decided to meet with Police Chief Michael O'Connor at the Back Bay Police Station. At 9:00 a.m., Lisa, trembling, recounted the displaced metal tray and, crucially, Marcus Tate's presence near Clara's room just before she vanished. "I'm not sure, but Marcus, he often stayed in the storage closet longer than usual. I saw him pushing his cleaning cart last night around the time Clara disappeared." Lisa hesitated, fearing her words might cause trouble. "I don't want to accuse anyone, but I couldn't stay silent." Lisa's testimony proved to be a turning point. O'Connor listened intently, making careful notes. A new lead emerged. Security camera footage showed Marcus leaving the storage closet at 11:25 p.m. with a small wet stain on his shirt sleeve, possibly blood. Police began to focus on Marcus, and the hospital's dark secret slowly began to unravel. Did Marcus believe he could escape justice after committing such a heinous act within the confines of a hospital? On November 21st, 2024, Police Chief Michael O'Connor summoned Marcus Tate for questioning. Marcus, with downcast eyes, repeatedly insisted, "I didn't do anything wrong." However, the evidence mounted against him: the footage of Marcus pushing his cart into the closet with a wet sleeve, and more significantly, forensic results confirming small bloodstains on his shirt matched Clara Henshaw's blood type, painted a damning picture. The autopsy revealed Clara died from a blunt force trauma to the head. The murder weapon, a metal bar from a cleaning cart, was found in a basement trash bin. It had been wiped clean, but still contained traces of Clara's DNA. Confronted with irrefutable evidence, Marcus finally confessed, "I didn't mean to kill her, it just got out of control." He claimed Clara woke up panicked at seeing him and screamed, thinking he was an intruder. Fearing being reported, Marcus grabbed the nearby metal bar, intending only to knock her unconscious, but tragically caused her death. Marcus was arrested shortly thereafter, charged with second-degree murder. News spread quickly, shocking the Back Bay community. "A hospital employee unbelievable," a resident remarked. St. Augustine's Hospital issued an apology, but its reputation was tarnished. Further police investigation of cameras and shift logs confirmed Marcus acted alone. On June 15, 2025, the courtroom at the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court was packed. Marcus Tate, accused of second-degree murder, stood before the judge, his gaze fixed downward. The trial lasted 6 weeks, with lawyers fiercely debating. The prosecutor highlighted the overwhelming evidence: Clara's blood on Marcus's shirt, her DNA on the weapon, and his confession. The defense argued Marcus acted in a panic without intent to kill. After 3 days of deliberation, the jury found Marcus guilty. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison without early parole. Clara Henshaw's family, especially Emma and Jack, found some measure of justice in this verdict, though their grief remains immeasurable. With a 15-year sentence, Marcus Tate faces a long future behind bars. While not a death sentence like in the case of Thomas Lee Goodenus, the price Marcus will pay for his actions is a lifetime of confinement, haunted by the crime he committed. Clara Henshaw's death within the hospital premises sent shockwaves through the community. St. Augustine's Hospital faced a surge of criticism and demands for security protocol reviews. Night Supervisor Diane Carter was fired, and a new piece of legislation named Clara's Law was proposed in Massachusetts, advocating for increased camera surveillance and stricter night shift monitoring in hospitals. Clara's wedding ring found in the storage closet was returned to Emma, becoming a sacred keepsake and a poignant reminder of her mother's tragic fate. The Clara Henshaw case raises profound questions. What drives an ordinary hospital employee to commit such a horrific crime? The grief of Clara's family underscores the fragility of life and the devastating impact of violence. This case not only shook trust in a place once considered absolutely safe, but also served as a stark warning to society. Boston residents began to question institutions once seen as symbols of security. If this can happen in a hospital, who can we trust anymore? One resident posted online, "Clara's story stands as a chilling reminder that sometimes the perpetrator doesn't emerge from the shadows, but from among the very people we encounter every day." The Clara Henshaw case also highlights the critical importance of individuals like Nurse Lisa Nguyen, who bravely came forward to ensure the truth was revealed, despite facing pressure and ostracism from some colleagues. Lisa eventually left the hospital and moved to a smaller facility in the suburbs. "I don't regret speaking out," she said, "but I don't want to relive those days." The community of Jamaica Plain held a memorial for Clara at a local park. Dozens brought carnations, Clara's favorite flowers, placing them before her photograph. A neighbor commented, "Clara was the heart of our community. She didn't deserve to go like this." The case left a deep and lasting wound. What are your thoughts on this case and the lessons it leaves us about safety, trust, and the nature of evil in modern society?